Welcome back to The Inspired Lens, the podcast where we zoom in on the moments that shape us, challenge us, and ultimately change us for the better. I'm your host, Silas Lounge, and today we're diving into a story that may hit a little too close to home. Let me start by asking you something. Have you ever been so tired that sleep didn't help? So busy that you forgot what joy even felt like? So on all the time that you forgot how to simply be? If your answer is yes, then you're not alone. According to a recent Gallup report, 76% of employees experience burnout at least sometimes. And it's not just work-related. Burnout seeps into our relationships, our creativity, our bodies, and eventually it blurs the line between who we are and who we're pretending to be just to get through the day. Today's episode is personal. I want to take you behind the scenes of my own journey, from hitting that all too familiar wall of burnout to slowly, steadily building a life of balance. Not perfection, not hustle. Balance. Along the way, I'll share the real breakdown moments, the not so glamorous realizations, the tiny choices that changed everything, and the breakthrough that finally gave me room to breathe, to live, and to thrive. So grab a cup of something comforting, settle in, and let's take this ride together. It started quietly. There wasn't a dramatic collapse or a breakdown that made the headlines of my life. It was subtler than that. Just an ordinary Tuesday morning, alarm blaring, emails piling up, my to-do list already 10 tasks deep before my feet even hit the floor. But something felt off. I stood in the shower, letting the water run far longer than it should have, staring at the tiled wall like it held answers. My chest felt heavy. Not like a panic attack, more like emptiness. A slow leak of energy I hadn't noticed until I was running on fumes. I was exhausted, but not just tired, I was soul tired. And here's the thing, I loved what I did. I was passionate, driven, always on, but passion without pause becomes poison. And somewhere along the way, my desire to do good, to be good, to achieve, to please, it hijacked my well-being. I said yes to everything. Every client, every late-night revision, every weekend catch-up session, and every time I did, I said no to myself. No to rest, no to stillness, no to presence. I told myself, it's just a season. But the season turned into years, until one day I woke up and realized I didn't recognize the person I'd become. I wasn't creative anymore. I was just productive. I wasn't living. I was surviving. And that's when it hit me. Burnout isn't just about being too busy. It's about being disconnected from yourself, from your purpose, from life. The breaking point came in the form of silence. One evening, I sat in my apartment, lights off, laptop closed. No deadlines, no pings, no pressure, just quiet. And I hated it. I didn't know how to be still. The silence was deafening. It exposed all the feelings I'd been too busy to feel. Fear, insecurity, shame, and underneath it all, sadness for the life I was living and for the version of me that got lost in the noise. But here's the miracle buried in that moment. Sometimes you have to break through. That silence was the start of something sacred. A reckoning. A question floated up that changed everything. What would it look like to build a life I don't need a vacation from? Not a life of constant achievement, but of alignment. A life where I didn't have to hustle for my worth, where rest wasn't earned, it was essential. That night, I made a promise. I didn't know what the road to balance looked like, but I was going to find it. Change didn't come overnight. It came in small, almost invisible steps, but each one was a brick in the foundation of a better life. Let me share with you what worked for me. Not as a formula, but as an invitation. 1. Reclaiming my mornings. I started waking up 30 minutes earlier, not to work, but to be. Journaling, stretching, breathing, drinking coffee without scrolling. That tiny window reminded me that I had agency over my day. 2. Redefining success. I stopped measuring my worth by how much I did. Instead, I asked, did I feel joy today? Did I create something honest? Did I rest? That was my new metric. 3. Learning the sacred no. This was hard, but freeing. Every no to a project that didn't align was a yes to myself. I stopped chasing validation and started honoring my energy. 4. Scheduling white space. Literally blocking out nothing time in my calendar. Walks, reading, silence. That space became my creativity's oxygen. 5. Therapy and mentorship. Getting support wasn't a sign of weakness. It was a declaration of self-respect. A therapist helped me untangle my worth from my work. A mentor reminded me of the bigger picture. And little by little, the fog lifted. I laughed more, slept better. Created from inspiration, not obligation. I didn't just escape burnout, I evolved. Here's the truth most people won't tell you. Balance isn't static. It's not a final destination where everything's perfectly aligned forever. Balance is dynamic. It's the art of noticing when you've veered too far off center and gently coming back. It's giving yourself permission to rest without guilt, to work with purpose, not pressure, to choose what matters over what's expected. Balance means honoring your season. Some seasons are for building, others for healing. Some are fast-paced, others slow and sacred. And the beautiful part, you get to choose. You don't owe the world a version of yourself that's constantly drained. Your light matters, but you can't light up the world if your flame is burning out. So if you're listening to this and you're feeling stretched thin, tired of the grind, unsure how to even begin again, here's what I want to leave you with. You're not broken, you're just burnt out. And burnout isn't a life sentence, it's a wake-up call. A whisper from your soul saying, come home. You have permission to slow down, to say no, to rest, to reimagine your life, to make space for joy again. My journey from burnout to breakthrough wasn't glamorous, but it was real. And it led me to balance, not perfection, not performance, but presence. And that changed everything. And now I want to hear from you. What's one thing you can let go of today to move closer to balance? What's one tiny act of self-respect you can offer yourself this week? Let's talk about it in the comments. If this episode resonated with you, please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to The Inspired Lens, and click the notification bell so you don't miss the next story that might just shift something in your soul. And hey, if someone you know is in the thick of burnout, send this their way. You might just be the light they need. Until next time, stay inspired, stay grounded, and remember, you don't have to do it all. You just have to be you. Peace and light, Silas Lounge.